can then sum the practice because you recorded or you had in our premises.
Are you saying I had no right to?
I think we finished with this conversation.
So you're just using a bully tactics and upset my entire family because of this. Go ahead and hang up, Kirstin.
I do have skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
For anything to have some sort of legality to it, you've really got to stipulate the section of the Act, or the Act and section that you're referring to.
Some of the names have been changed in this video to protect the identity of weak-minded individuals that are scared of taking responsibility for their own actions.
None of any recording to do with anyone else other than myself and my wife was being recorded. It seems like you're retaliating because of that, though.
I'm not retaliating.
Well, yes, I recorded that consultation and now you're saying I'm trespassed.
You are, because you recorded on our premises and we have the right to do that.
I'll be seeking more legal information in regards to this, and I'd like you to state what legislation is stating that I cannot record there.
Right, it's Waitemata Community Law Centre here. You
yes.
left a message last Thursday. Has anyone got back to you yet?
No one has.
Okay, how can we help?
Well, I had a couple of queries. One was in regards to the, what's it called, Westgate Medical Centre
Right,
has issued us a trespass notice.
right,
And it's because I recorded a doctor's consultation.
right.
And I can't understand as to what law they're saying I've broken by doing that. And
Right.
the fact that it was a public place that we were at. Now they're saying that it's not a public place.
Right.
But I'm going by public place being defined as a place that's open to the public, be it for free or fee.
I think probably you're going to find that that they're going to say it's private property, and
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it's private property, but under the Summary Offences Act 1981, Section 2, a public place is defined as anywhere that's open to the public, and they were open.
Right.
Apart from that, they're also an emergency medical centre, and under the Section 4, subsection 5B of the Trespass Act, if there is an emergency, I can still trespass.
Right. Yeah, I would say that would be correct. Yeah.
Well, protection of my property or for an emergency. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically they got in the bee in the bonnet because I recorded an incompetent doctor not actually doing his job properly. I filed a complaint with the New Zealand Medical Council against the doctor. The doctor,
okay.
And under the Bill of Rights Act 1990, Section 14, I have the right to seek, impart, receive information and opinions of any kind in any form, which means I'm allowed to record them and I'm allowed to share it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I mean, they're obviously just trying to put the frighteners on you.
They're saying that what I did was prohibited at the medical centre. I said there's no evidence of consent or contract between me and them for them to be able to prohibit me from doing anything that's a right to do in the first place. And they said that it was an illegal act. And I'm saying, well, you're making a claim right now that I've done something illegal without any foundation. You're not stating an act or a section of an act that it's illegal under. Such as, if they're going to give me a Trespass Act, it's under Section 4 of the Trespass Act. That gives it its power. It's, so...
Yeah, I mean,
they're coming from a point of ignorance.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, they've resorted to a Trespass Act because obviously the police have told them they haven't got a
pot to piss in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anything, whatever I posted on YouTube had nobody's private details. All faces were blurred out and no personal details were shown, so there's no privacy being breached.
Yeah, and I mean, they've got the option to go to the Privacy Commission anyway.
Of course they can.
which obviously they haven't done.
No. It's
Yeah,
just
so,
trying
I mean,
scare tactics.
yes, it is. Yeah. So I suppose, I mean, in an emergency, you could access that centre. Was that a receptionist or something?
No, it was the practice manager.
Oh, the practice manager.
Kirstin
Right.
Kirstin Coleman, yeah.
Right.
Because I rang her up, and I've posted that on YouTube and sent her a link too, just so there's no confusion as to what was being said over the phone.
Right. Well, that's good because I mean, if they've got any problem with that, then they've got the opportunity to dispute it, and they haven't done. So.
No, they haven't, and I've responded to them saying that should an emergency occur, that we will still be attending that medical. Okay, put it all in writing under Section 45B of the Trespass Act.
You think you have some weird expectation of privacy while you're working in a public sector. Dead wrong. All around your medical centre, I was being filmed. I had no expectation of privacy. I have none whatsoever anywhere in public. I'm being filmed constantly, everywhere, all day. And if you haven't come to that realisation, Kirstin, I really have sympathy for you. And I really need to see how what I did was illegal for her to do that, because it's because of that, it's because of her unreasonable expectation of privacy in a public place, such as an accident in an emergency medical centre, that she's done this. So she's done this after either being misinformed or non-informed or ignorant of the law. And I'm sorry, but under the Crimes Act 1961, Section 25, ignorance of the law is not an excuse, my darling. G'day people, it is the 31st of August 2017. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have been following and keeping up with the Health and Disability Commissioner complaint that I filed against Dr. Incompetent. I haven't heard any sort of reply back from the Health and Disability Commissioner, other than they are still trying to get all of the paperwork and whatnot. I've offered it, but apparently that's contemporaneous, so they need to get it from the source. I offered to give them a copy of the little sketch that he made, as I'm the only one that has that one, but they're happy to do what they're doing. Who am I to question their methods? Now, as far as Westgate Medical Centre and my friend Kirstin's concerned, you no doubt, if you've watched part 6 or part 5 or 4, I read out the letter that I sent Westgate Medical Centre, which was on the 24th of August, in response to their correspondence that they sent me, along with their the trespass notices and stuff, and their correspondence, which was dated on the 23rd of August. So after that, that letter first on the 23rd of August, one for me and one for the wife, you saw the response I've read out on the 24th of August that I sent them, and I've just posted this morning part 6, which has the legal advice that I got from Waimea Community Law Centre. I actually rang them in regards to a couple of things, not just Westgate Medical Centre, but also Judge Black, because I haven't finished with him by far. So, what me and the missus got today in the post, dated the 28th of August, just a mere 4 days after the letter I sent them, we both got one, and it reads as follows. Dear Mr. Keane, I have reviewed your situation and the representations you have made to our practice manager. Our prime concern is to provide health care to our community and remove any barriers to this. Just like to pause there and say, if that's their primary concern, or their prime concern, why issue trespass notices in the first place? If you don't like barriers, don't put them up. I'll continue. So in light of this, I have instructed the practice manager to notify the police that the trespass notice has been rescinded. I do hope Kirstin didn't mind going back to the police a mere 5 days after lodging a trespass notice. He must have felt really stupid rescinding that just 5 days afterwards. I haven't had any response in regards to my questions as to how were our details obtained, because they must have looked that up without any reason or consent from us to do so. They haven't defined what covertly means, and I would point out that how can you covertly record something when you walk into a business and there's signs everywhere telling you that you're being surveilled by security cameras? There's no expectation of privacy when you see those signs. She hasn't backed, well, they haven't backed any section or any act to confirm their belief that it's an illegal act for me to do what I did. It's because it isn't. So they've just completely ignored that. But anyway, I'll move on. It says, please be aware that the Centre has a long-standing policy that we do not permit audio-visual recordings on site in order to protect the privacy of our patients and staff, as we ask all visitors, to respect this. Well, not a visitor, we're a patient. We were a party to a matter that you guys were dealing with, so we weren't just visiting. We were a member of the public exercising our rights to record. If you guys are concerned about public information being, or private information being viewable to the public, I would suggest not having your screens viewable to the public. But as for this long-standing policy, your long-standing policy does not overrule my rights under Section 14 of the Bill of Rights Act. You can have a policy, I mean, as I've used this argument in the past, I'll start a company and I'll write in my policy that I'm okay to grow 20,000 marijuana plants. Does that make my policy overrule the Misuse of Drugs Act? Does it? Because last I checked, it doesn't. Law overrides policy every time. I'm coming from a standing point of law and legislature, which I've backed every way with every step. So, yeah. I, again, also would like to point out that I do also respect people's private, details and privacy. If people don't, if the people are worried about their privacy, then don't go out in public. If you have a problem with an unreasonable expectation of privacy while you're in public, I would suggest seeking some medical help. So, yeah, very good. Very pleased to see that they pulled their head in and removed their unlawful actions. I don't know if it has anything to do with the fact that I told them I'd be holding them liable if we get any undue alarm or distress because of their actions. Perhaps that's why they rescinded it. I don't know, I don't care. So as far as Westgate Medical Centre and the Trespass Notice is concerned, end of. This will be the last part as opposed to them is concerned, but it still doesn't mean that Dr. Incompetent has got away with things, because that matter's still out. We're still waiting for decisions or reviews or whatever from the New Zealand Medical Council. So, yeah. So to Dr. Richard Selkin, the General Manager of Westgate Medical Centre, thanks very much. It's good to see you've actually understood where I'm coming from, or as he put it, representations. I basically call them facts, stating law and facts, as opposed to somebody's belief and unreasonable expectations. Enough of me babbling on. I'm sure you've heard enough of me already in regards to this. Never be afraid to stand up for your rights. As I've just proven, it does work. To Kirstin, no hard feelings, sweetie. I hope you've learnt something from this little ordeal. You may think I'm a complete wanker. Opinions vary. I'm not out to breaching people's privacy. Putting people's names up, such as Kirstin and stuff, well, they're acting in a public sector. And again, if they don't like the exposure, there's always the private sector to go work in, where you don't have to deal with the public. But at the end of the day, I hope you guys have all learned something from this. I certainly had fun. I mean, I enjoy this. This is better than a drink and a movie. I've only been studying this for 5 years. There are people out there that have been studying it for far, far more than I have, and I'm sure they're more intelligent. But if it comes to governing or having control or expecting to have some sort of power over myself, another equal, you better have some facts to back it. Anyway, final note to Westgate Medical Centre, I would look at what the doctors you've got working there, because as far as I'm concerned, you've got one doctor there at the moment that is substandard, and I have spoken to a few medical professionals around the local area, and they have all not heard very good things about Dr. Incompetent. So, yeah, I would suggest you review those sorts of things. I think feedback is important, especially from the health consumer, or should I say patient. Yeah, live and learn.
Right, and just to end it off, this is the email that I sent to Kirstin, Jim and Richard at Westgate Medical Centre. This is my response to the correspondence we got today saying that they have rescinded the trespass notice that they put on 5 days ago. And it reads as follows. Greetings Kirstin, Jim and Richard. We thank you for your correspondence dated the 28th of August 2017, which we received today, 31st of August 2017. Thanks also for reviewing your position with regards to the issuance of 2 trespass notices to Mark Keane and Leah Brunette. We appreciate you explaining to your practice manager that your primary concern is to provide healthcare to the community, and deciding to have the barriers, such as vexatious trespass notices, rescinded. Furthermore, we are grateful that you have had the practice manager notify the police of this decision. We are certain the constables at Henderson Police Station, such as Matthew, Brian, Lance, Chase and AJ, have enough to do already. Although Westgate Medical Centre allegedly has a policy regarding audio-visual recording on site, we have not seen it and would love to view it. Do you have a copy available? To add, this alleged policy would be applicable to Westgate Medical Centre staff only, and has no bearing or authority over members of the public or visitors, of which your doors are open to, nor does it supersede or overrule legislature, common law or our rights, without some evidence of consent or contract between parties. As previously provided, the New Zealand Bill of Rights Act 1990, Section 14 is quite clear, and this has been confirmed by an independent legal advisor that our action were both legal and lawful. We, like yourself, also value privacy and can appreciate patient confidentiality, and would not knowingly publish any individual's private personal details, and we go to great lengths to comply with the privacy guidelines stipulated on YouTube and within the Privacy Act 1993. As for the privacy of your staff, we are unclear what privacy you are referring to within a public area. Surely they have a private smoker room, don't they? As it is a public sector, and they are acting in a public capacity within a public accessible area, such as reception, not to mention that you have signs clearly stating security cameras are in operation, where does the expectation of privacy derive from? We also record for our security and the accountability and transparency of others acting in public sectors for the matters of public interest. We reserve our right and freedom to seek, receive and impart information and opinions of any kind in any form, and are always mindful of the privacy of members of public, using ethics, morals, with logic, facts and sound reasoning to guide our decisions. Any beliefs are irrelevant, such as the belief of an illegal act where none exists. Thanks again for using your better judgment and having these notices rescinded. This matter is now considered reconciled. The end.
to everyone else, much love to you. I hope you've enjoyed this, and this will be the end of part 7. Part 8, hopefully we'll jump back onto the Health and Disability Commissioner and the outstanding complaint against Dr. Incompetent, and see how we go.
I will look for you. I will find you.